Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today for the Soulmate Twin Flame Oracle reading. We're now in the middle of summer solstice, and for many of you, you're in winter solstice. Now, the meanings are pretty much kind of similar, but like the opposite of each other, because when winter comes in, it's like a different effect for the summer, but everything usually turns around during this time of the year. So like, as you know, the summer days get a lot longer, and as it goes into summer, it actually goes into shorter days. So I do have more about this on my blog, and you can check that out. The link will be down below. So today we're going to go into the divine feminine and masculine energies with twin flames and how they affect each other during this time of the year, because there is a lot of spiritual energy coming through for both sides, and it's very interesting. So this is more of a generalized reading, not just specifically targeted to one person. Now, it is, like I said, a generalized reading focusing on love, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a general type of like standard reading. It's a message that's been given to you, and if you've landed on this video and it doesn't correspond with the dates that are or in the title, it's because it was a message that was given to you, and you really need to pay attention and stay tuned. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, I've meditated and asked the angels to give us guidance on what we need to know for this coming week. And while I was shuffling, I did have some visions of different things, so I'm going to be adding them into this reading. The cards that I used are a very beautiful deck called the Oracle of the Mermaids, Magical Messages of Healing, Love, and Romance by Lucy Cavendish. I love the artwork in these cards. They're very beautiful, and this was a wonderful birthday gift from my sister Mary. Okay, so the first card, as you can see, the packing is just gorgeous. I love mermaids. Sorry, I had to say it. The first card that I pulled, the mirror. Okay, now the mirror is about looking inside ourselves and knowing who you are. This is what we need to know to self-examine and see the true authentic self of ourselves. Now, sometimes we don't always see it. Sometimes we have a little bit of ego that comes in the way. But erasing the ego, and by stop trying to be someone that we think we're supposed to be, or someone that others expect of us to be. I mean, this is where sometimes the feminine energy is heavily influenced by the mirror, with divine masculine that tries to dominate the mirror. And either way, it's a reflection to both divine soulmates, but they sometimes don't see eye to eye because of this one particular area with the mirror. Now, it's not because they can't see, it's just because they are trying to be someone. You know, it's part of, I guess, with life itself. You know, women, men, masculine, feminine. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that the men are more dominant or the women are more dominant. It's basically we have masculine and feminine energies inside of all of us. And sometimes we can be women and actually reflect more of the masculine, and vice versa. And this is where it gets a little confusing, because a lot of people, they classify, you know, they stereotype it, I should say, and it's not the way it should be, because they sometimes they don't want to be, they're afraid actually to be judged by other people. And this is very common with soulmate energies, with both divine feminine and divine masculine. So this is a time that you need to be firm about who you are, and understand that you don't have to try to impress or be someone that just because you feel that this person is not going to accept you unless you are like the typical person that they would, you know, be drawn to. But think of it what you need to be in your life, and not what you think that they want you to be in your life, because you'll be surprised that when you actually look inside yourself, that mirror, you're actually what they're looking for. And if you're not what they're looking for, then obviously they are not being their authentic self. So you can't blame it on, well, this person, we're connected, this person should accept me for who I am. That's incorrect, because sometimes that ego can take over and it actually dominates what true authentic self they are. So they become this complete opposite person, but to come to find many years later, they do become their authentic self, and you know, they really like judge themselves for what they've done, and it could be a complete different story. So everybody's situation is different. It's like you have to love yourself in order to find yourself. And sometimes it's not that you can't be with that person, it's just that you both are not ready. You need to shine the person that is in your heart, and that is you. The mirror is inside you. You are a beautiful, amazing human being. And before you can completely merge with your soulmate, divine partner, twin flame, you both have to come together in agreement, a soul agreement with yourselves. First of all, before this can actually happen, before that you can actually find, well, you know what, we're supposed to be together because that's just the way it's meant to be. Or I'm cutting off from this person completely because this person is completely wrong for me, but though I feel that magnetic force pulling us together, why does it have to be so drastic? Why does it have to be so extreme? Instead, look at it in a like neutral area, trying to come to terms with it, but at the same time trying to cope with it. Many times you'll find that there's stuff about you that you're not looking at. Maybe you have the egotistic energy. Not that I'm judging anyone and I'm not calling nobody out, but sometimes you have to just examine yourself. So that's all this card is telling you. You know, just know thyself, self-examination, seeing who you really are. That's what that card represents. Okay, so let's go to the next card. Visions. Beautiful mermaid. She's beautiful. As you can see, I don't know if you could see that. Swimming around and the moon behind her. She represents visions. Very beautiful card. Let's see if you could read that. Now, she represents the spiritual energy and the visions that are being given to you all the time. Because see, we do receive messages, not just in a reading. I mean, a lot of people get them in a reading, but you may be getting them in different forms. Now, let's go to this reading for instance. There's some things that you're picking up on, some things that maybe it's resonating with you and, you know, it sounds familiar. This is where I highly recommend, maybe you pause this video and go get a piece of paper, write down what I'm telling you, because maybe it's not going to resonate right now, but maybe in an hour, tomorrow, the next day, I mean, you're going to find something, okay? So basically, what this card is telling you is that you're feeling like energy coming through. It may be coming through your dreams. You may have visioned it in different forms at various times. I mean, I'm not saying that you're seeing spirits, but you're seeing an image of some kind. It's hard to describe what a vision is exactly. It's a thought, but it's though you're not sleeping. It's not like you're daydreaming. It's like you just see it. Sometimes you think you're daydreaming, but actually you're getting a vision. And these things come to you different times of the day. And this is a message trying to come through from the divine, that you need to pay attention to it. You are not paying attention to what your angels are trying to give you you know, when you're being given to them. So these are the messages that have to come through. Yes, sometimes we can't define them for the emotional energy that we feel. Sometimes we get, you know, emotional, we get feelings, we get down, and then we're thinking to ourselves, the ego takes over here again. Maybe this is something that is telling me, you know, it could be a negative message. I don't like to look at things half empty, okay? So I'm not necessarily telling you that you need to pay attention to them, but when you get a strong feeling in the gut of your pit of your stomach, this is a vision, this is a message, and it's being given to you that you need to hold on to it. You need to find what it's trying to tell you, because something is happening. Something is definitely energetically happening to you, and if you don't catch it, you're going to lose it. This is how I get visions, how I get messages. When I read, they just come to me. I don't plan them out. I don't visualize what I need to do in a reading. I don't study the cards intensely so that I can give readings because the card came up and it's, you know, it's reversed or it's in a different position. I get the messages with the way they come to me, and that's the way you need to get the messages, because we all have psychic abilities. And I'm not going to go into it, but I will make a video about spiritual psychic gifts that we all have and how we can process them and use them to our advantage. But for today, I strongly advise you to write them down. Write down your visions, write down your messages. Sometimes you'll get them in different forms. Sometimes people will just come to you and just blurge something out to you, and you'll think to yourself, why did they tell me that? It's a message. You may not be able to use them right away, but there's messages and visions that come to you that may not pertain to you, but maybe to your twin flame. You can feel their magnetic presence. This is the thing. Whenever they're in the physical with you or separated from you, you're going to get their feeling, their energy. It's constantly trying to come through to you with twin flames. I mean, there's many times that they can actually telepathically communicate with each other. It's like you'll just hear something. It's not a physical voice. It's not the way I'm talking to you. It's like in your ear, you're going to hear something and you're going to be like, is this something coming through? Did I hear something in another room? Maybe it's far away. But that's a telepathic message. And this is usually accompanied by different signs you may see that day, the next day, I mean the previous day, or it just comes in sequences, different random times. I mean, there's different signs that will come to you, but there when you become more advanced spiritually, and it's usually during a full moon. I mean, I get telepathic messages from people in general during the full moon because your psychic senses are like heightened, and this is a good time to either get a reading, read for somebody, meditate, do something spiritual to enhance your gifts, enhance your abilities. You may find it that you have more than you realize, and you didn't realize it before. Not that I'm saying that you need to go and do this as something of your calling, but you need to get the message what I'm talking about. It's like you hear something, you have to just close your eyes and really try to like feel the message, what is coming to you. Now it could be coming from your angel, the divine angel, sending it to you, or it could be from your twin flame giving it to you telepathically. They're communicating with you. I'm not a medium, so I can't go into spirits. I don't practice this area. Not that I'm saying it's something I won't do. It's just something I choose not to. So I basically talk about a little bit more about the emotional, spiritual energies with love. So this is something that you have to define where the message is coming from. Yes, through meditation and self-reflection is really the way that you're going to hear them. You're not going to hear them if you're just looking around and saying, okay, what is my twin telling me? What is my soulmate telling me? What are they trying to say to me? You won't get it. It's mostly through a trance or a meditational state or just self-reflection, like I said. So when you have quiet time, this is a good idea to just close your eyes and really feel the messages and just really listen versus just hearing it and just letting it pass by, because many times you can communicate with your twin flame once you have understood what they're trying to tell you and you've advanced spiritually. You can give telepathic messages with your divine partner. Now, I'm not going to get into how to telepathically communicate with your divine soulmate. I will make another video about communicating telepathically, but for now, just focus on what I'm talking about just to get the message. Okay, so let's go to the next card. Song of the Siren. Okay, beautiful voice, beautiful woman, and it's the Song of the Siren, the calling, the summoning of the voice to acknowledge. Very beautiful mermaid. She's singing. As you can see, she's got a voice of an angel. And this card is an element, wish for you to really to express your voice, just in a freer way. I mean, and sing your own song. Now, making a song is is basically contributing to the energy of the world, to the energy of what is given out to us. And we love music. I love music, and I appreciate a good song that has good lyrics, regardless if it's any genre. You know, it doesn't have to be a specific type of music. I love all music. I just adore it. But this is not something that I'm telling you that you need to be someone that goes singing all day long. I mean, I'm not talking about having a beautiful voice either, like Barbara Streisand or Celine Dion, and go singing nationally. I mean, although if you do, I say more power to you. But you need to voice and be heard. This is what this card represents. Your opinions matter. What you have on your mind needs to be brought out. It cannot be held back anymore. This particular directs the divine feminine energy. You know, actions from the divine usually create the feminine to be silent, and these actions, you know, you really have to bring them out. You cannot keep them in. But when both divine soulmates are not expressing who they are and eliminating the negative just so that they can shine brightly, this affects their relationship. It really does. If you're currently struggling to find some type of balance or peace with someone, you need to voice your opinion. I mean, you need to let your soulmate know that you love them, but there are things that you're not comfortable with, and you have to say it in a loving way. This will make a big difference in your relationship. It's more like if you don't talk, if you keep it in, I mean, regardless of what you feel for that person, I mean, you could have intense love or you could have intense disappointment. I mean, I'm not going to go into what you feel for your mate, but this is a relationship that you have to remember that they need to hear you. You need to voice it. And if there's a separation with your divine soulmate, this is a time for you to bring out what you really want out in the open. Maybe it won't be a good idea to get in touch with them, and especially if you're trying to communicate but they don't want to communicate, or you can't reach out to them in any way, or there's just a certain type of situation like the runner and chaser situation. But saying it out in the open, even if it is to yourself, your spirit self, venting can make a big difference on sending the vibrational level to a different tone. It really does. It all means because you're releasing what's covered up and everything's been held back. And another way is to write them down, making a complete list of what you don't want and what you do want in a relationship with this person. There's many ways that you can express how you feel about them and what annoys you, but try to keep it on a positive level, because when you bring out this energy, you're opening up certain channels to you, and you're getting like a message directly to them when they are ready to receive. So I highly recommend that you don't bring out too much to scare them, because if they're going through something and you're going through something, it's not like two wrongs make a right, that if you say something negative, like you're arguing or you're disagreeing or you're trying to scold them because of ego, then it's doing the opposite effect. But try to focus on love first. Meditate on it, even if you're upset, even if you do have those feelings. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't, but really try to focus on the love before you do this, because it will not work if you are having those feelings. And when you do, you're going to be sending off a positive vibration to this person that they will feel it. It will help release everything that you're truly feeling inside. This will help you balance what you're feeling inside and make a difference in your spiritual growth. This will help you cope with the situation. I mean, there's no easier way to do this except for bringing it all out. So, you know, the voice of the siren is important with all relationships. I'm talking about everyone that you're currently communicating with. It could be any relationship. It's very important. Otherwise, you'll always hold back something that you may blurt out, or you may storm like a volcano at the wrong time. Okay, so let's go to the next card, the last card. Endurance. As you could see, two beautiful mermaids. They're young. And yeah, when you're young, you can keep going. I mean, yes, we love to keep going. We would love to continue on. And sometimes we age faster than when we think we age, but actually age is just a number. So these mermaids represent all ages. They don't represent the young. They represent everybody. If you're in your 80s, in your 90s, I mean, your 20s, you are in this card. This is a card that represents you, because deep down we are all children. Represents the youthful energy and following your desire, following your dreams, whatever it may be. Live within the excitement of new beginnings that are meant to happen in your life. When things come to an end, there's always a new beginning. But when things are not the way you want them to be or how you plan them to be, take a step forward. Focus on what you need in your life. The route may be unfamiliar and issues can happen, challenges can happen, but always be proud of what you want coming through and what you need to happen spiritually. Both worlds we live in it's a physical world, and spiritually we're all connected. We're all trying to find that true purpose of our life and be prepared to develop the strength and carry on to the next day. But when you're struggling with finding or meeting someone that can fulfill all your needs and desires, because that's what you need, that's not somebody that you really want to look for. I mean, nobody can actually do this for you. Being codependent on someone's need, being codependent on somebody is never a good thing. This is the endurance you need in order to find a suitable person in a love relationship. And if you're still struggling, there's something that you need to do for yourself. Find your true self. Like we talked about with the mirror, you know, the mirror is telling you to find your authentic self in order to get there. But the visions are coming through and you're not voicing what you truly want into the universe. Remember, it's not being codependent on someone that's going to give you the happiness. This is why the challenges that you face are usually there because of a life lesson. And this is meant to be learned, that you're not looking at what the life lesson is. It depends on the person. Maybe you have been independent all your life, but then meeting this person, you forgot how to move forward. You forgot how to do things for yourself because you didn't have to. And I mean, that's great. That happened to me too. I mean, everybody goes through that little period of they need to come back to their self. They need to come back to what their true center is. Now, sometimes you may feel stuck, and it's never good to depend on anybody for that matter. And if you're trying to reunite with your twin flame, it'll just feel like things have been going in circles and going in round and around and around, and you're not getting anywhere. This card is telling you that you need to keep the endurance, keep going. You can't rely on whatever's happened currently to direct your whole life for the future. It's time for you to open yourself and explore everything that is around you. You'll be surprised on how much you'll learn and find inside that in yourself, that this is something that you need to open up to. This is something that you need to examine. That's a message that I feel that you really need to pay attention to. All of these cards are representing the same thing. Just keep moving and love yourself no matter what. This is all part of the journey, the soul journey that you're on right now. And I hope you've enjoyed this reading and it helped you with your situation. Now, if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments area down below. And also, if you like this video, I hope that you can give me the thumbs up. And if you're not already, you can subscribe to my channel and you will get the reading videos and any other video that I post in your inbox as soon as it's posted. Also, if you would like your own personalized reading, I do offer phone, chat, and email readings. You can sign up for one, book a reading down below in my on my blog. Also, my blog has many articles about soulmates and twin flames. If you haven't already checked it out, I have several of them out there. So until next time, love and light to you all. God bless.